broadcast is live. That's what we do right here. Let me double check everything.
You can't double check. You
Okay,
can't
it's
double check
on.
on the live broadcast.
I can't because it's our show. We can do whatever we want to. See, I just got the YouTube notification because we live right here, Academy Sports Show. We are back from the pandemic, whatever COVID, however you want to call it. We are back. If you guys are watching this right now, it's either via my Facebook or Joe's Facebook Live, and we are live on YouTube as well. And if you want to get in touch with us, it's the same modes. It's still Facebook, it's still Instagram at Academy Sports Show. We are back. Sports is back, so that means we are back. The hiatus was long, but the things that we love are slowly trickling back, and we got opinions on a lot of stuff. So first, we welcome you back to our new streaming service. This is the thing that we're going to be using for the time being for the show, and this is very interactive. So if you'd like to be a part of the show, you can message in the chat room here or on YouTube or on our Facebooks. We'll be monitor those as well. And if you guys want to come along, we'll just send us a message and we'll send you a link and you can be a part of the show as well. So I see the comments below. So we are live. We are streaming live, and that's such a great feeling to be back on. I'm your host, Andre Douglas. You see my name right there. And next to me is your host, Joe Williams.
Man, what's up, everybody? It is good to be back. We are happy to be back live on a new platform. Thanks to shout out to Sports Dad Cephas, Sports Dad Seth, for him putting out a lot of content lately, and we joined in and we liked what we saw, and definitely jumped in on this opportunity. So we're looking forward to it. So welcome everybody to the Academy Relaunch Show. Just actually doing a little test run today. Got a little bit couple of topics to cover with you today. Got to talk a little bit of bubble ball, also known as the NBA, in the bubble down in Orlando. Currently down in the playoffs. A lot has happened since we last spoke. Also, NCAA decisions being made in the Power 5 conferences. Will they or won't they play? Football season is upon us. Youth level, high school level, college level, pro level, everything is being affected by COVID. And so organizations and leagues have decisions to make for the sake of the safety of the players and everyone attached or associated with the players. Plus, and in some cases, there's some financial implications. So we'll share our thoughts on that today as well. And, we'll just have a little fun. Hopefully everybody's joining us in the live feed. We appreciate you guys as always, whether you're following us on Facebook. You can follow us on my page. You can follow us on Andre's page, or you can follow us at the Academy, or you are following us on YouTube. But we appreciate you joining us today here live on the Academy Sports Show podcast relaunch.
Yes, it's the relaunch. I love it. Yeah, like Joe said, we got a lot to get into. But we definitely want to shout out our sponsor who's held us down through thick and thin for years into this podcast, and that is Mike Vaughn's Plumbing. Vaughn's Plumbing, both licensed and insured. Vaughn's Plumbing provides top quality services at great prices, whether it's just getting up to cold, waterproofing, or daily home services. Call the man.
313-304-7786.
VaughnsPlumbing.com. You can find all, I like the bell. You can find a list of all the services that they provide, as well as the areas that they provide those services. But we suggest you call the man.
313-304-7786.
Because he is the real MVP.
Oh, yeah. You see, I did that without looking, though.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Real slick here. I'm trying to.
I like it. You can
get all this figured out.
Put a producer credit on it. I love
it. Oh, man. This is crazy. So I'm trying to find. The interesting thing is we have on this new banner, we're going to give you guys some background, or I guess some behind the curtains type information here. So Ralph just said the Pistons are cursed. We were, and of course, as always, since we are a Detroit-based show, the Pistons find their way into our show because we were not going to discuss them because they are not worthy of discussing right now. However, Ralph being the Pistons fan that he is, he definitely brought them up. But they are cursed. I'm actually trying to find our video on there. It is. I was trying to find our feed on Facebook so I can actually see.
Listen, talking about the Pistons, man, it's just the front office has been so bad and so nonchalant about winning. Like, you wanted them to have an obvious pick so they can pick the obvious guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Lions. Like, oh, man, you're too far back in the draft. Now you actually have to do your job and scout somebody and pick somebody that's great for this franchise, which we have no faith in you to do whatsoever.
Kind of like another team around here.
If you got 1, 2, or 3, then, you got some obvious choices in there. You got Wiseman, you got LaMelo, you got Obi. But after that, it's like, man, we really got to trust the scouting department at number 9.
Isn't that the case though in like every draft? Like if you're not in the top like 3, it's pretty much a waste of time.
Well, in the NBA draft, it is proven in recent years to be a waste of time.
Yeah,
these NBA drafts have not been deep whatsoever. You might find a diamond every once in a while, a good role player, but a breakout superstar. And a lot of guys like that. It's not a lot of 04 drafts out here.
Right. Ralph said, did you see the GM reaction? Yes.
He's like, dang, I actually got to do my job.
Yeah. Got to go to work.
I actually got to do my job. Scouting department, you got something for me? Please tell me you got something for me.
I got to work. Oh, man. That's hilarious.
Like Joe said, man, we just going to try to give y'all a little tidbit, little teaser going into this. We're just trying to get this thing going. So this is just a relaunch. We got an actual show planned for you guys next week. But this is just to get the feet wet, just to let you guys know that we're back. And we'll pump this after this is over and let everybody know as well. So if you can spread the word, share the page, share the YouTube, share my page, share Joe's page, share the stream, any way that you're watching, we appreciate it. And that'll let the world know that we're back and we are fully interactive. I remember early on in the inception of the show, we were able to have a phone line. And a lot of people called in and gave their opinions. Then we transitioned online and a lot of comments. But now we can get you on camera. So get your camera face ready.
Y'all know how we do with the guests. If you have something to say, we're going to give you an opportunity to say it. But we have a rule on this show. If you speak, we will hold you accountable in the comments or in the show itself. It is on tape. We will go back and get it on you.
So hopefully we'll be able to get like a set schedule for you guys. So that way you know when to look camera ready. So whether it's every Monday at 8 or every Thursday at 7, you guys know, and you'll be ready. So when we send you that link in your email, you'll be ready to tap right in over your phone or on your laptop, whether you're taking a walk or you're driving. We're fully operational in that way to add you guys even more into the show. So that's an exciting part that we added here. And like Joe said, shout out to Sports Dad C for introducing this platform to us. And we plan on taking full advantage of it.
Absolutely. What up, Joe? Dennis in Vegas. We appreciate long time fan and follower jumping back in with us.
Yes, sir. Spread the word. Spread the word. We are back. And while being back, I want to jump to our first topic. Glad to have you too, sir. Jumping to our first topic is NCAA football. A lot of things going on. COVID has ravaged the sports world, shut it down completely, put the brakes on it at one point. Now everything's trying to trickle back, but there are protocols. There are hoops to jump through. There are things that need to be happen for these sports to come back. And a lot of these teams and a lot of these conferences have opted out of the fall season, including our conference, the Big Ten Conference, the one that's closest to us, has opted out, and it has impacted a lot of young folks. And right now we got the quarterback from Ohio State having a petition to try to get those fall sports back up and running. So we want to get everybody's opinion on that. What are your thoughts about the Big Ten football season being canceled, or in general the college football playoffs is going to be happening without the Big Ten and without the Big 12 or not the Big 12, was it the ACC?
Big Ten and Pac-12.
Pac-12. So without a couple conferences, will the champion be legit? It's just a lot of holes. It's just a lot of questions. If you have any comments or concerns, or if you feel some type of way, hit us up in the chat. Joel, I'll give you the mic, man. What's going on in your mind when all this came down?
I'm gonna try to do this without being emotional and crying. I mean, this is disappointing, but I understand the big picture.
Big picture.
Let's start with the Big Ten. Don't agree with them doing it so early. Just absolutely don't agree. Unfortunately, at the same time of not agreeing, I think that we're going to find ourselves in a position where it's going to happen anyway. Like, I don't know how we're going to get through a college football season without positive tests, without postponement, without something getting shut down. I don't see how that's going to work, because these guys are going to be on campus, and a lot of these schools are going to be in session. So they're going to be on campus, and people are going to be talking and interacting. And yes, right now they've been able to do a really good job of making sure nobody gets it, or they've limited the number of cases. But I just don't see how it happens to a point where they can run off a 12, 13 game season. So unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get through it. As Ralph just said, you understand it, but I just think it's going to get canceled. I think that's what's going to happen pretty quickly. I think you can pull it off in the NFL a lot easier than you can in college, but with the way it's happened right now, I'm disappointed by the Big Ten's decision. I think parents should stop protesting, and unfortunately the little list or letter or whatever is not going to work. President of Big Ten already came out and said we're not revisiting this topic. Wow. So I don't see that there's going to be a lot of pressure that can be put on the Big Ten to be able to follow through, considering that they have backup from the Pac-12. But I would like to see some type of leadership. I mean, how come you guys made the decision and other conferences haven't made the decision, and you guys are all talking to smart people? I mean, everybody's talking to somebody that knows what they're talking about, right? So it's frustrating, but I understand, and I'm like Ralph on this one. I really think it's going to get canceled pretty quickly.
The whole season?
Yeah, I don't see us getting through a whole college football season. I just don't see it at all.
Yeah, it would just it got like, real hopeful for a minute there, and then it just got really snatched away rather quickly. I think once the Big Ten was the first one to put out their schedule, we were really thinking that this was going to happen. Like, okay, all right. So,
right.
They have a plan, they have protocol in place. They feel comfortable enough putting out a schedule, and, they feel comfortable enough letting everybody know, that there would be a season. And then not even a week, 2 weeks later, you pull the whole season. Like I watched First Take, and it's like, college football season is about to end. And I was like, man, they just put out a schedule. Like, we were just talking Michigan, Ohio State early in the schedule. Like, they were just having those conversations. And then I wonder what tide turned, like who in that room had the loudest voice to say, go ahead and shut that down, because it seemed like it happened rather quickly right after the schedule release. It's just something, I don't know. I don't want to call it fishy, but it just seemed off-putting, and it kind of, stirred up something mad in me, because I thought we were going to have football. But to your point, I don't think we're going to have much of a football season either. I don't foresee the whole shutdown, maybe, possibly, but kids are definitely going to get sick. And these young men are student athletes. One thing that you can't get away from in the NFL, if you have a positive test, these guys are millionaires. They can quarantine in their mansions and come back. These guys are student athletes. So I do understand that aspect of, trying to think of the student first, make sure the kid has a healthy lifestyle after, because there are kids being reported of having heart issues after having COVID. So this is let's all be serious in this moment where this is a real thing. Nobody thinks this is fake. But I don't know how they get past positive tests, because there will be positive tests. I think Oklahoma had like 6 kids test positive in their practice staff. So it's going to be tough to try to get around it, and they're definitely making a headline that doesn't have to be one. Either everybody cancels or everybody plays.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about it is, when you think about all the different perspectives, do you play, do you cancel, some play, what message are you sending to the student athlete? What message are you sending to families? What message are you sending to America when you have some that are saying we feel like we can play, some saying we can't. We don't know what comes out after you get COVID. We don't know all of the after effects. We're still learning everything. I think the Big Ten made its decision because of the heart issue, where they had, situations where they found that there's this potential of that. But then you had doctors come out right away, cardiologists, and say the odds of that happening are very slim. Okay, so do we play because the odds are slim, or do we play because there are no odds? It's like, where do you draw that line? So I really think, I mean, like I said, it's disappointing. It'd be nice to. It's going to be missed. It's going to be a huge gap. Thankfully, right now, and we sound, I think, kind of selfish saying this, but thankfully the NFL is still around. But we all need some entertainment, and this is how we make it here in America. So, thankfully NFL is still around for now. And I'm gonna watch the college games that are on, but I just think that once you get a kid on a team or a breakout on a team, that's that team and the team you just played. That's a total quarantine. So how we were gonna have the same issue. We play one game and somebody has it. We've got to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
How do you quarantine for 2 weeks and then come back in week 4 and play again if somebody caught it in week 1? It just doesn't make sense. And it really doesn't make sense, because they're going to still stay on campus. They're still going to practice, and you still have students coming in right now. Like my wife's signing people up for cable right now in Ann Arbor, and she's going up to Ann Arbor next week to sign people up. So there's still going to be students on campus. There's still going to be all the things that could potentially generate positive tests are still going to be out there. Yeah. And Michigan put out some really good information. Look at what we've done. We've mitigated it. We have all these precautions. I mean, they've done a really good job, and transparency is good, but how do you stop this thing? And until we get to that point, who knows how this is going to go? And then do we learn to live with it to the point of where we just say, okay, if somebody catches it, this is what we do, and we just keep playing?
Yeah, I think that's where we're at right now on a professional level. Just sticking to NCAA. It reminds me of the nation that we live in, right? It's a lot of different people in charge.
Yep.
Inside one entity, like if there was a president of the NCAA, one guy, one woman, one person that each conference leader can go to, and they can all bounce information off of this one person, it would make more sense, and everything would be copacetic in that way. But since it's so many different presidents and so many different ways of doing things, it seems chaotic, kind of like what we're living in right now. It just seems chaotic. You got mayors going against governors going against congressmen. They don't know, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, social distance, don't. So, like, you don't even know what to agree on for somebody's safety. So now we have to make the decision for ourselves.
Right.
Like, we're all in this position right now, whether do the kids go to school or they don't go to school, who aren't athletes. So just the uncertainty and the dysfunction of it just kind of illuminates what's wrong in America, and then illuminates what's wrong in college sports. they thought they were moving in the right direction, letting kids get paid off of their likeness and things of that nature, just trying to be progressive in that way. When really you're not being progressive, you're doing something that you should have been doing a long time ago. But now it just still illuminates that how far off you are from what is needed, which is one voice, which is what the kids are asking for. The kids, before this whole thing came down, they all tweeted out, "We want to play," and they want to have a union, and they want to have somebody that represents them in the room. And before you even got a chance to hear them out, you shut the season down.
Yep.
So it just illuminates the dysfunction within the NCAA, which is a smaller microcosm of the world that we live in today.
Yeah, there definitely. Ralph said, you're right, Dre. There needs to be one person. There needs to be a commissioner. What up, BJ Weathersby? There needs to be a commissioner, man. It needs to be someone that they all can look to. One leader. Right now, the Power 5 conferences make their own decisions. They're the ones that control college football in itself. They are their own entity. And to your point, if you look up at the highest office in the land, same thing. So we'll since we're not a political show, we'll keep it moving. But yeah, I think that we are where we are. No surprise of how we got here. What's happening next? Who knows? I mean, we do not know what this is going to look like when it's time for a season to start in late September. We don't know if these conferences are going to make it through a season. We don't know if the NFL season is gonna make it. I mean, there's just so many things.
Is it going to be 2 champions? Is it going to be a fall champion and a spring champion?
I don't know.
Like,
does the spring season even matter? Is it just a waste of time?
Are the good players even going to play in the spring season?
Who knows?
I think Saban said it's just going to be JV football out here.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, all the good players are going to sit out.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tricky. I don't know.
So that's the uncertainty of that. Can't put a bow on it because it ain't. Nobody knows.
It ain't a present. Man, oh man. Shout out to everybody in our live feed. We appreciate you guys joining us tonight. This is the Academy Sports Podcast live relaunch show. We're just trying out a new platform here, kind of testing it out. We will go live for a full show next week. So keep an eye out on our social media, as we will announce that both on Facebook and on Instagram. Don't forget, you can always follow us on Instagram and on Facebook at the Academy Sports Show. Or you can find out a lot about the show on Facebook if you follow me, Joel Williams, or Andre Douglas, also known as Andre Douglas. You can follow us on our pages also, and you will find out about the show. When we go live, we will be streaming to our pages as well as to our YouTube page. So you have a bunch of listeners in tonight. We appreciate you guys joining us, a bunch of viewers in tonight, and you guys are watching us on multiple platforms, and so we appreciate you. If you want to get in on the show, like if you want to see your face on this camera and talk to us right now live, you can do that. Just hit us up. You can let us know in the chat, or you can let us know if you hit us up directly. Those of you who know us personally, you have our cell phone numbers. So you can shoot us a text and we will add you to the show, shoot you a link, and you can come on live and say your piece, whether you agree or you disagree.
And I love this, the chat, like it pulls the comments from our Facebook pages. Like we don't have to constantly check pages, and it pulls comments from YouTube and in one space. So that's pretty dope to see. So yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the more we get comfortable with this program, the more things, more bells and whistles we'll bring out to you guys. If there's a certain play that you want us to see, or if there's a certain topic that you want us to have a hot take on, or something somebody said, you can send us the link to that, and we can throw that up right on the screen. We can watch it together, and we can break that down and give our feedback on that as well. Or if there's like I said, if there's a play that you don't think we saw, you can send that to us personally, or you can put the hyperlink in the chat, and we can throw that up on the screen as well, and we can all watch that together. So this program is very interactive in that way. So whatever you got for us, we are here for it. And like I said, once we nail down the schedule, you guys will know when we go live each week at a certain time, and we'll put that out via our social medias, our separate ones and the ones together, so that way you guys can be ready and prepared for when the show starts. So if you want to jump in, you'll be in front of your computer, you'll be in front of your phone, ready to jump in and participate.
So I have exactly what you were talking about, like right on cue. So Dennis from out in Vegas, a longtime follower and listener of the show, just sent me a picture that I'm going to try to show. Let's see if we can use this technology that you were just talking about as we get ready to transition into our next topic here. Let's see if I can pull this off. This is going to be.
I'm believing you, producer, director, Joe.
I'm working it. Give me a second.
Well, in that time, make sure you guys are linked in with us. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and trigger that bell, so that way you get a notification every time we go live. So that'll help you get into it as well. And then follow the Facebook page at Academy Sports Show and the Instagram page at Academy Sports Show, where we'll be giving constant updates on the next time we'll go live.
All right, so this is. Let's see if I can pull this off. All right, we'll bring this up. All right, so this is pretty sweet. Dennis out in Vegas. He is. He was watching the show, and this is his view.
Oh man, he just wanted to stunt. He just wanted to show that nice fireplace. What you need a fireplace in Vegas for? It's already hot.
Well, why do you need a fireplace in Vegas? Look at that, man. That's pretty dope, though.
Yes, sir.
So this is yeah, man. He's got all the. Look at that. What's that? PS4 controller.
I mean, just stunting, just for it. It's okay.
Man, that's the man cave. It looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I see.
Okay.
I see you out here setting the ambiance. Got the candle lit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So just a little bit of what we could do here on the show. We just let everybody into Dennis's man cave. I don't know if he stayed on long enough to see that happen.
He said it gets cold out here.
Those desert nights.
That's funny. We appreciate it.
Oh man, that's pretty sweet, Dennis.
Yep. Make sure you guys share the link, bro. Make sure y'all share that. That'll help move the show forward. A lot of you have been with us since the inception. A lot of you have came along on this train throughout the years. So close.
So, yeah, I see we're trying to shake it up a little bit.
So if you can just share it out and let's get some new people, let's get some new new followers out there. We would greatly appreciate it.
Flowers.
Right. All right, so let's make a pivot over to bubble ball, man. The playoffs are going right now. One league, it seems to be ahead of the curve all the time. The NBA shut it down, was the first entity to shut it down. Two things that made COVID real: the NBA postponing their season and Tom Hanks getting coronavirus. Those two
the
things
second one
made it real.
Is important. Okay, I got it. All right.
It was like, oh man, the NBA is done. Oh man, this is crazy. Oh, Tom Hanks got it. Oh man, it's a wrap.
Oh wow. All right.
Those two things made it real.
Okay.
But the NBA's came out with a great protocol. And you see it being copied around the league. You see, if you watch Hard Knocks, the NFL has kind of copied that mandate, and now, but not to the extent that the NBA did. They brought teams into Florida, which they had a bubble. They quarantined these guys. They got them in. They had to stay quarantined for X amount of days before they can come out and practice. all the staff and everything like that is masked up. They get their temperature taken every day. They get tested every day. They have not had one outbreak inside the bubble, which is miraculous. And I feel like they've done this the best way. So just on the COVID part, it's great to have it back. And I feel like, they did it the right way, the best way that they can come up with.
Yeah, and it saved a lot of our sanity because we needed something. Because the MLS just wasn't cutting it for me. Sorry. Yeah, it was it was absolutely a good job by the NBA. It's definitely a good example of what you can do if you've got the resources. Obviously, if you're able to test it as often as they do, and get a rapid response and be able to kind of literally make it to where you keep everybody in the bubble safe, distance, and everything, then you can see that this can happen. And so, right now, I think we're all pretty comfortable watching and feeling like you watch some games today, there are going to be some games tomorrow. Like there's no second thought to if somebody's going to catch COVID. And what's been even more interesting is that it's the intensity of the bubble has been fun to watch. It's been a different level of basketball. It feels like, at least from an intensity standpoint, and it's been very entertaining. I don't think we saw a decline like many people thought we were going to see some rust. I don't think we saw a huge decline. I thought we saw some teams kind of get back up to speed pretty fast, and the trash talking with the guy that's on like the next floor in his room on his social media, and you're on yours, and you guys just talking junk. I've enjoyed that tremendously. So, good job, NBA. Kudos.
Yeah. Just one last thing on the COVID too. Like they've they're kind of ahead of the curve now. They're doing the saliva testing, paying for that, and that might actually move forward in the world. The FDA is allowing that to happen in there, and because they try to do that simultaneously with the Q-tips, and they're seeing the same results. So if that if they gets the same results, then you can expand testing. So
See, that's so. Again, and I hate to go back. We already, closed out that topic, but Big Ten, why didn't you wait? Right? I mean, these athletic departments have the funds to acquire that testing protocol and be able to move forward. It's like you make decisions, but this thing is changing as the days pass. I mean, you never know what could be happening next week or the week after, or next month or whatever that could help us move forward. And it just seems like the Big Ten just made a fast decision.
Yeah, get in and get out. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But so let's talk about playoff bubble ball.
Yeah.
So the lead up into playoff bubble ball was great. Like I think it was the Wizards that was the only team that was invited on the East that was outside the top 8 to try to fight their way into a
play.
And then on the West, you had the Spurs, you had the Suns, you had the Pelicans, and you had the Blazers trying to fight their way into a play-in game. And I like the play-in game. Like the play-in game is dope. When they first was trying to figure out the format, I was all with Dame Lillard. Like, don't invite me back if I don't have a chance. Like if I don't have a shot, I'm not going to subject myself to be infected, because at that time nobody knew the protocols. So I'm like, don't invite me here just to jerk me around, for your ratings. I want a legit chance to get in the playoffs. So you come with a legit chance, then I'm all in. So they came up with this format. They had 4 exhibition games, then you had 8 or 9 regular season games,
position games.
Yep. And if you were in a half a game of the 8th seed, then you would have a play-in game. So right off the bat, nobody cares about the Wizards. So we just throw that out like hot trash. So the West, like always, was the one that was the most exciting, and that 8th seed, it was a battle between Memphis and Portland and surprisingly Phoenix. So those teams were I think Phoenix was undefeated in the bubble until the last game. Or something.
Yeah, how about that?
Like Devin Booker had a coming out party. Talk about coming out party. TJ Warren, even though they're about to get swept. he had a coming out party.
Yeah, good for him.
So like you can tell guys really worked on their game in the downtime, and it made really extremely competitive basketball. No home court advantage. As much as they do the little projector screens, which are nice, but there's no fans, there's no adrenaline, from all that. It's just balling. And I hear everything that bench say, and I hear everything my bench say, and I hear everything you say, and it's just real hardcore balling. And I feel like this level of NBA basketball hasn't been this what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not gonna say good. Hasn't been this intense in a long time.
Now do you think that's because of the fact that we have so much other stuff going on in the world right now? I mean, it feels intense. I mean,
It feels
playoff basketball
better.
is usually playoff basketball is usually intense, but it definitely feels different. I mean, the Ja versus Dame situation was good. The Phoenix situation was excellent. Um, Aaron Brown just shouted Blazers. Be careful, calm down though. That might be over here pretty quickly too. Um, Deuce's dad said Dame was balling. He is. I mean, I found myself rooting for the Blazers. Like Phoenix story was nice. It was nice to see, but I really want to see them against the Lakers.
Right.
Memphis, great story. Proud of Ja. One of the things we were hoping about him when we talked NCAA last year on our show, we talked about how we hope he has a great career and he's going to be exciting to watch in the NBA. So it's good to see that he's off to a strong start. Didn't really want to see them against the Lakers. I wanted to see a healthy Portland Trailblazers team against the Lakers because that healthy Portland Trailblazers team might be a 5 seed if they were playing in a whole season. So I didn't know Dame was going to be like this though. That's what to me added the more to it. It started to make it feel like okay, maybe this is real. These guys just ain't talking. This is real because they on the court talking.
Yep.
They on Instagram talking.
Yep.
Multiple teammates talking. I'm like, okay, we might really have something. And then you add in the fact that we're all trapped in our homes for the most part, and we can't really go anywhere.
Male drama.
Yeah, it's like there's this testosterone, this extra level of testosterone. I think that ultimately was getting us really, really into it because of the circumstances and the scenarios behind it, which are crazy. So I think I was gonna try to maybe disagree and say maybe it's just this, but no, you're right. It's more intense. This is different. This is different.
Love it.
I love it.
Like you dabble in it, but like the Blazers Memphis playing game was so intense. Like it was so good. Like I couldn't stop watching it. John Morant, he's definitely on deck. Like he's coming. He just needs help. That team is extremely young.
I had to get out of Memphis.
The coach is young, but it was very fun to watch. But the Blazers just had too much firepower.
Yep.
So now going up against the Lakers, this series, it's a series, because it's 1-1. But, in true Blazers fashion, their best player had to get hurt. Sorry, Aaron. But in true Blazers fashion, somebody had to get hurt. And it had to be your best player who was white hot, like extremely hot. And that's going to be the death of him, unfortunately. I don't think Skinny Mello can do it by himself. I don't think CJ can do it by himself.
God.
You need Dame going off, and that team has a lot of deficiencies. Like Hassan Whiteside, not a great offensive piece.
They don't defend
lost.
well.
Yeah, they're not a great defensive team.
Yeah.
So they do have deficiencies that the Lakers can take care of, that can take advantage of. And I think their game plan in game 2 of doubling Dame and giving AD the ball every time down the floor was perfect. And then they shoot her shot. KCP, you're not a You're not an all-star. Just sit in the corner, knock it down. Danny Green, sit in the corner, knock it down. The thing with the Lakers down the stretch is you're gonna need better point guard play as you get, more and more in there, and you don't really have depth at that position. So, you can get past the Blazers. I think the Lakers can get past the Blazers. Before Dame's injury, I would say this was a six or 7 game series. With Dame's injury, I don't see the Blazers winning another game.
Ooh, ouch! Ooh, I see. I was gonna ask you that, of course, and of course you answered.
Because we here, we already know.
So, Dame with a dislocated left finger. All right, left index. He can play with that. Right.
Yep.
Dame isn't good enough. Dame and the Blazers can't get another game from the Lakers. I'm gonna have to challenge you on that one. I was actually almost ready to step out there and say Blazers upset in 7 because there's no home court. There's no advantage here. You're all in the bubble, and the way Dame is playing or was playing or is playing, I mean, we'll see. It's ridiculous. Like,
it is ridiculous, but I think the AD LeBron so giving the ball to AD right off the bat, there's no one on that team that can guard him. Whiteside picks up 3 fouls just stepping on the court, so he's non-factor. This guy stays in foul trouble. And then you got Trent guarding LeBron. LeBron puts him in the spin every time. He puts his back to the basket and he's getting a layup or he's making the best pass. And as long as their shooters knock down shots, they're good. They just play basketball. There's not really, you double Dame. Other than that, CJ can't beat you by himself.
Right.
Melo can't beat you by himself.
Right.
You need Dame to score 40. And I don't really see him scoring 40 with the game plan that they have in a 7-game series.
Yeah, so I'm not with them anymore on winning the series, but I think they get another game though.
And I do think they get another game. We always talk about there's no game 3 back at home energy game. They don't have that no more.
No, that's true. But I think they get one more because of the Lakers' deficiencies. I think it's hard to just double a guy for a bunch of games. You can do it in a game. You can shut it down and be successful. Just like we saw teams try that, like the Brooklyn Nets tried to do it in the last game of the season. They tried it, didn't work.
It worked. Overtime.
It worked.
But their best player is Karis LeVert.
Right. True. That's true. I think the deficiencies of the Lakers caused them to lose one more game in this series, but I think they still win this game. I still think they win it in 6. But I think the Blazers are going to get one of these games because of the lack of point guard play, because AD and Bron and the others, they can't chase him around like that for the next 3 games and to get to win this series. You can't do that, and then you got to get into the next round and play another team that's going to be, of course, a better team, a higher seeded team. So I don't think that that's a good strategy to try to impose constantly. And it seems like the only way to stop him right now is to double team him. But I think the Blazers are good enough to get one more game out of this scenario before, unfortunately, the Lakers move on to the next round with the 4-2 series win. That's just how.
Yeah, and with that said, you got to do everything that you got to get out of this series.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, I would just double them. You don't want to be the 1 seed that loses in the first round. So
not this year. Definitely not. With all this happened to the Lakers, no.
Man, you got to do everything in your power just to stop essentially one guy. That's usually what an 8 seed is, right? It's one guy, and the role players do well in certain occasions to get you in. So, this team back healthy together again was a great story, but now they're not healthy again. Zach Collins re-injured himself. Dame is injured. Melo's shot has been off. So we really just requiring on a CJ to be assertive, and he's not really an assertive player. He's just a guy that can knock down shots and take advantage of, because he's a veteran, take advantage of the players. So yeah, I don't really see it. But for the West as a whole, I think they're having great playoffs. You know, the Lakers will either play, in my opinion, the Lakers will either play the winner of the Denver Jazz series, and that's 1-1. I don't really watch those because
I don't either. Yeah.
You know, but I would think Denver would get out of that series.
Well, no, I think Utah's up in that series.
I think it's 1-1 right now. Like Denver won the first game, Jazz won the second.
Didn't Utah win the other? Didn't they win yesterday too?
I think they only played 2 games.
Okay. I guess with our new platform, we can now just kind of have this stuff up on standby.
So I think Denver should get out of that series. You know, they're very deep. They're a very deep team, and I think they're going to give the Lakers a trouble because they have a good 5, and they have they have good guards. And this have been what's the young boy? His coming out party after he been hurt. So, I mean, the West is deep. The Mavericks got a game out of the Clippers. You know. So it's getting really good there. I feel like the Houston's going to pummel OKC. OKC has no
man. They got nothing.
They got no shot. They just getting waxed every day.
They got nothing,
and they get waxed without Russell Westbrook. Like Westbrook ain't even playing, and they getting killed. So poor OKC. And then on the East, it's just. I don't know. It's not a lot of prime time ball playing like Indiana and Miami was just on. I watched a little bit of that.
Utah is up 2-1. Sorry.
Utah is up 2-1. Okay.
Utah is up 2-1.
And then the Boston looks like they're going to take care of their business with the 76ers.
Yep.
The Bucks looks like they're going to take care of their business against Orlando with just a little slip up on game 1.
And the Raptors are killing the Nets.
The Raptors are killing the depleted Nets. So the first round in the East is just wiping off the gum at the bottom of the shoe and trying to get to better competition. While these West playoffs have been a lot more better, more competitive.
Yeah, the East, I thought as we were watching the bubble, this was going to be a competitive situation in the playoffs, but it has not gone that way. There was a little, everybody got excited with the whole Orlando, winning game 1. It was like, calm down. Like, y'all know. Yeah, y'all know that the Bucks aren't going to lose another 3 games to these guys.
That's a prime example of taking your opponent lightly.
Yeah.
That's all that was. That's
100%.
They took them lightly. And, they let one slip through. But now you're going to get the hammer every single
game.
Every single night you're going to get the hammer.
Just so y'all not wondering or questioning, leave no doubt we're going to hang one on you.
Like, man, the Nets, bro, like, I feel like that's the most disappointing. Like, imagine Kyrie and KD in the bubble. Like, it would have been so competitive.
Woo.
Like, just to see them in that pressure cooker, to see how they were act, because, they do have reputations, not necessarily Kyrie, but KD does have, the reputation of being a little, what's the word that I'm looking for? Sensitive.
Emotional.
Or that. So it would have been great to see, how they work together, how they play together, just to break that down. So we're definitely missing out on that. But
we got a question from a listener, from one of our viewers. So Aaron Brown's got a question. He says, "Do y'all think this year's champ is official with the way the season is played out?"
Most definitely.
Is this year's champ legit?
Best teams are in the playoffs. You can't say like a subpar team was left. A favorite was left out of the playoffs.
True.
So I don't, other than the fans, I don't know what else, what we're missing. Like, the game 3 where you have to go back home and you got all the adrenaline and all the fans on your side. But at the end of the day, these guys are professionals, and most of them will say, you ain't even got to pay me. I just love to hoop and I'll ball in any circumstances. Okay, well, here are your circumstances. So ball. So I think this, if anything, this is a very legitimate champion, whoever comes out of this bubble.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. The NBA, again, did a really good job of balancing this thing out and putting it in a way that we are literally going to see an opportunity for the best teams this year to play it out. And I remember before the bubble started, there was a big kind of argument on sports talk about, I think, as Giannis said, this could be the hardest championship ever to win. And of course, there was the debate about that, which I think sometimes these sports talk shows you just got to debate because you just feel like debating. So I think that the fact that we're getting to see the best teams play each other is going to further prove it out. I think also the element of no fans makes this extremely difficult. They're playing in a gym with no spectators.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally they're in open run.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you walk into open run, it's a bunch of guys on the side.
Just you and your game,
Just you and your crew, y'all playing.
Yep.
And somebody got next.
Yep.
That's it. It's nobody. And so these guys are doing this in front of nobody when they're used to doing it in front of a bunch of people. They're doing it on national television. They're doing it in a hotel conference room and not in an arena. I mean, just the professionalism and the skill level that we've seen has been NBA caliber, NBA quality. And there's no doubt in my mind that the champ from this year is the world champ, and they deserve all the credit for making this thing happen and pulling it off in these circumstances in this scenario.
Yeah. Like we all know, like the only team you could really say is the Warriors, but we knew they were banged up all year. Steph didn't play a third of the season with a broken half, with a broken hand, no KD. Clay was going to sit out the year. So it would have been great to see them in the playoffs. Like I said, KD and Kyrie, they chose to sit out this year, but they were planning on sitting out the whole year. So you really didn't get to see. So there's superstars missing from this equation, but their teams weren't going to benefit from this. So I like the Warriors, maybe they would have squeaked in the 8th spot. Who knows?
They were horrible.
But they were bad. Like they were just getting their young guys, just getting their feet wet. And now they get the second pick in the draft. Jesus. They get the second pick in the draft. So
yeah, back to having a super team out in the now San Francisco area,
right?
A part of the Bay.
So like I don't even know who they would add. Like that's not a team LaMelo I can see fit as a 6'6" point guard.
Right.
We already got Steph.
We already got
Steph. Have to make him reposition to a small forward. I don't know if he's willing to do that or if that will work. But a guy like Wiseman, if he doesn't come off the board as a power forward that can stretch the floor and just add him, you can put Draymond at the 5 and go super small. That's a team, bro. Like Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Wiseman, and Draymond, they can come back with a nice starting 5 next year.
Yep.
So, they played it the right way. Just trying to get that draft pick.
They played it the right way.
They did. They played that. I mean, the NBA is the most. You can get what you want out of it.
Right.
Tanking.
So that's a great question, Aaron. Let us know what you think. Do you think that the champ this year is official? Anybody else that's watching us? Yeah, right. He did yell Blazers about an hour ago. So let us know what you think, Aaron. It was your question. We'd always want to hear what your thoughts are on the question. And anybody else that's listening, again, shout out to everybody in our live feed, whether you're watching us right now on YouTube or on Facebook. That's right, we said it. You can be watching us on both platforms right now because we are in the midst of our Academy relaunch. And we are relaunching with a new platform, and so far so good. It's going well for us tonight, and we got a lot more to come, a lot more to share with you guys on this platform, and a lot more interaction. So make sure you hit the like button, make sure you share the live feed, make sure you let everybody know that we were on or are on right now. They can catch a glimpse of us, and then we will be back to you again next week. So make sure you follow us on social media, on our Instagram and on our Facebook page at Academy Sports Show. And you can also follow us on Facebook individually at Joel Williams or at Andre Douglas. And you will know when we are going live because we will post and we will tell you. And we will just try to turn this thing up, man. We're going to try to get a lot more followers, a lot more viewers, a lot of more listeners. And you can also listen to our past episodes on iTunes. Just search us on the iTunes podcast app. Look up Academy Sports Podcast, and you will find us there as well.
Yes, sir. All right. So that felt like a bow. So yeah, like Joe said, please follow us and please share us on every platform. And if you're interested in being a sponsor, you can hit us up individually or you can shoot us an email at academysportshow@gmail.com and we can get you in the show. So just like this man, Mike Vaughn's Plumbing, both licensed and insured. Vaughn's Plumbing provides top quality services at great prices. Whether it's just getting up to cold, waterproofing, or daily home services, we suggest you call the man.
313-304-7786.
VaughnsPlumbing.com.
.com.
Gives you a map of all the areas that they service as well as the services that they provide. But we suggest you call the man.
313-304-7786.
Because that man right there, say it, let's all say it together, is the
real MVP.
Yes, he is.
That's
yes,
right, folks. Look at that. If you want to see you can see your advertisement here. You can get if you like to do a commercial, we can add you in for a commercial. Yep. If you like to just be in our background, we can put you in our background like so.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a lot going on, people. We can make it happen. So just hit us up, like you heard Dre say, and we will do our best to get you integrated into our show. And we appreciate all your support.
Yep. And then as more and more comes out, we'll have more and more to say. So college football season should be getting started next month. As early as next week, right? Is it some August game schedule?
I believe that everything is like late September.
Late September, okay.
Yeah.
So as early as late September, that gets. We still got more bubble ball to talk about in the NBA. And I'm sure more topics will be flooding in on a weekly basis as they are. The NFL is getting cranked up. I heard Dez Bryant had a workout with the Ravens. Antonio Brown got his suspension. So is anybody going to pick him up? So it's different, hot takes with the NFL as well. And the closer and closer we get through that season, more things that come out. I hope you guys are enjoying Hard Knocks, just to get that football itch scratched. Yeah,
a little bit. It did help. It helped a little bit.
So we can leave it right there. And like Joe said, make sure you follow us on all our platforms. That way you'll get the message. We'll let you know when the next time we'll come back with a full show. This is kind of like a full show. We was just so excited to be back. We went a little long, but it's all good. We all family here. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. If you didn't comment today, make sure you comment next time. And that's good. And I'm good.
All right, so we will see you guys next week. We promise you. We will get the word out. It could be as early as Monday. So make sure you watch the live. Make sure you watch our social media, and we'll hit you guys up because we will, I'm sure, have a lot more to talk about then. Until then, adios.